Oh, you guys, you would not believe how excited I am for 4 p.m. today. I have a counseling appointment and it is much needed. I can't say long overdue because I see her every other week and I have for months, but I just feel like it's about time and I have a lot to say. So for now, I'll update you guys on a few things. So I'm back with another dating video. I feel like I basically just did one and I did, but things have changed and thoughts have come. So let's rewind to past years' relationships. I just want to be a good girlfriend, and I never feel enough in relationships. By the way, I broke up with my boyfriend, and so we'll get to that too. But for now, let me just say, I just want to be a good girlfriend. And I never feel good enough in the relationship. I always want to do more. I strive to do my very best. And I just want to be a good girlfriend. Like, I want to be a good person to my person, you know? And that's something I have to overcome and just realize I'm not going to be perfect at it, and that's okay. If you're questioning their love for you, it's time to go. And that means the love isn't there anymore, or they're not doing a good job of showing it, and then you can't feel it, so therefore it's not there technically, and it's just very hard on you and hard to deal with, hard to endure. That's okay, you're just not meant to be with everyone. And that's why we date. That's why we date. So we find out if you're a good match, a good fit together. And sometimes, in my case, what just happened, we weren't meant to be, and that's okay. Sometimes not being meant to be is meant to be. How nervous I would get before a date. Oh my gosh. So Steven, my now ex-boyfriend, we ended on good terms. It's okay. It's not like I've been crying. I feel really resolved about this. I feel like it's supposed to happen this way. But between my ex Chris and my now ex Steven, there were like 6 months. Well, since I started dating again, I mean, like around the time that I moved out in October, when I started to date again. I would just go through so much fear and dread and anxiety, so much worry and concern was going into my dating life. And I have social anxiety, so it made it really hard. But I'm so glad I did it because I got to know people, I got to meet people, and I got out of my comfort zone. I was big and brave, But it was laughable. It would just make me laugh just thinking about it, like how nervous I would get. And they're just people after all. Like, it's okay. Um, he didn't treat me wrong necessarily, but definitely not right. And that applies to an ex-boyfriend. And um, if they don't treat you necessarily wrong, but they're definitely not treating you right, that's a red flag right there because you don't know where you stand and where they stand. And you're just kind of like floating back and forth between, do they love me, do they care, do they not? And so if they're not treating you right, if you're not feeling love, there's a red flag right there. I'm looking for red flags and not seeing any what's wrong. So that was how I felt with my previous, most recent ex-boyfriend. I was like, where are the red flags? Because I should see them by now. We've been dating for a month. We lasted about a month and 2 days. I don't want to say we lasted. That sounds bad. But just trying to explain it right. I don't know. And then we got to talking about finances, and finances can cause a lot of worry and stress, and I did have some concerns there. But more than that, I was just kind of losing feeling and losing attraction. Not losing feeling, losing feelings, plural. And so I wasn't really up to hanging out. I wasn't wanting to hang out because I didn't feel the same way anymore, which breaks my heart, but that's just how I felt. Sometimes people are meant to come into your life for a season. And When Calls the Heart is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. It's so cutesy and I love it. It's adorable. And they realize that in the show that sometimes people come in for a season, and that was what happened with my previous ex. Like, I loved our time together, but there just won't be any more of that. And I can't see there being a long term for us, which is okay. Miss being single, prefer it to this. I thought our relationship was really cute and fun and exciting for a time, but then I really wanted my alone time. And so I missed being single, and I realized that he's not my permanent, and you need to realize in your life what's your permanent, what's your temporary, and go with what's permanent and leave the temporary behind because it's not going to last. It's not long lasting. It's not meant to be. Too many people can't stand to be alone. That's very true. In the dating world, like, people are afraid to be alone. They're afraid they're going to die alone. They don't want to be alone. They can't stand their own thoughts, being stuck with themselves. And I have a really good relationship with myself. I love time with myself. I can be introverted and independent and creative very easily. It just comes naturally to me. But I will never understand those people who cannot stand to be alone. And it's like, you're fine. Just get to know yourself and spend time with yourself and be your own best friend. You can't be your own best friend if you hate being alone. You have to work at it. And it's worth it to be your own best friend, because then you don't need anybody else. You want people, but you don't need them. You can't rely on people. So my ex's name was Chris, another ex. But there was another Chris that I was talking to, Chris with a K, Christopher with a K. And this was on Tinder, and we've been talking on and off for, I don't know how long it was, maybe a month or so. And we never hung out. I never met him in person. But when I got his number, soon after I got his number, I get a text from his wife, from someone claiming to be his wife. And she was like, if I were you, just a warning, just a heads up, I would not be talking to Christopher. He is abusive. He hits me. He brings girls home. He sleeps around. He's a player. He's a cheater, and all these things. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is real life. This has never happened to me before. Tinder dates, I've had some bad ones, but nothing like this. Nothing like this, like a warning from a concerned person, a concerned female. Like, I've never had this happen before, and I believe her. And I told her, you deserve the world. Please take care of yourself. Like, I made sure that she knew I was never going to talk to him again. And I haven't talked to him. I blocked him and everything. But that was just a crazy story. So keep in mind, like, some people lie. Some people cheat. Some people are not good. Not everyone is a good person. In high school, I was blinded, and I even thought my abusive ex, who was terribly abusive, I thought he was a good person. I claimed everybody as being a good person. That's how I saw the world. And that's very immature and juvenile. That is a naive mindset. Not everybody is for your good, you know? Do not settle. Do not settle. You can date. There are plenty of fish in the sea. We live in this broad ocean called the world, and there are billions of us. If you do not have a partner right now, you have time, you have prospects, and it's not the end of the world. And don't marry just anybody. My brother married just anybody, and his life has been kind of a train wreck. It's hard. And he even will tell you it's hard. Some people will use it as a joke in a game. Like the dating game, they really use it to their advantage. They use it as a game in every sense of the word. So you have to be careful of who you're talking to and spending your time with. Took a long time to get here. Yes. To date Steven and get to this month of being together, I had to date around, and so many guys I had to just go through, because that's what you do. You have to, like, weed throughout all of the bad ones, you know? So that was not very fun, but that's okay. You want to be proud of your relationship, and I liked us, but I didn't love us. Like, I thought we were cutesy and quirky and goofy and fun, but I don't know if I would want to, like, hang out with my family together, you know? I don't know. I didn't know what that meant. It's not mean to break up with people. That's a big one. Don't stick around if you're not all in. You owe it to the person to be all in, and you owe it to the person to break up with them if you're not all in. As simple as that. You can't think it's him or no one. There are plenty of fish in the sea. And with my ex, Chris, I loved him. I loved him so much, so hard, so deeply. And I even told him, I was like, if we break up, like, that's it, because all I see is just you. Like, I can't imagine being with anybody else. But that's a dangerous mindset to be in. You don't want to feed that animal, that thought, because there are plenty of people who you can work with. I don't think you're destined to find, like, your person. You want to find a person who's good for you. But, and there are quotes out there too, like, you can meet people and they can be your match, but you can meet somebody else and they can be just as good of a match in their own way. And it's not like him or nothing, if that makes sense. So cop-outs, I've ran into those when I was dating, and some people just don't have the time, the energy to date. They change their mind, things come up, whatever, and some people use cop-outs. Love bombing, it happens so fast. So with me and Steven, like, it did happen really fast, just everything just in our relationship. Like, from when we met to when we were dating to when we were intimate to when we were serious saying I love you. Like, it just all happened so fast. And, like, he gave me flowers. He even gave me a treadmill. He was even going to give me, the treadmill was thrifted, so it's not that expensive. But still, the thought was there. The thought is there. But he was even going to fix my AC unit before they did, if they didn't. But they did. My apartment complex took care of it. But he was gonna give me like an AC unit, like very thoughtful, very caring, and no one's ever done that for me, like done that much for me. I feel like they have in their own way, but nothing like so gift centered, I guess. I just think that's how he experiences love, like through gifts. Um, and when I broke up with him, like I wasn't sad. I was relieved, as in like I knew that it wasn't gonna work, and so it was time to end it. I was starting to feel anxious and claustrophobic in the relationship. That's no way to feel, and I just didn't know how to feel anymore. I didn't know how to feel about it. I just felt kind of like I couldn't breathe. I was just on edge, and I was like, well, I'm liking our time together, but I'm not loving it anymore. I didn't know how to feel. He was nice about it, and even he said that it was a lot, like it happened really fast for him too. So we were both kind of in the same point of view there. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That's my dating update, I guess. Um, I just want to stay single for a time, and I don't know. I do like Steven. I really, really like Steven. It's just, he's not my permanent. And you only date your permanents, or else it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, and it feels like a game. And I don't play games. I'm intentional in this. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So, yeah. Don't want to end the video because I like talking. But there was that. And I'm sorry I'm ending the video. Okay, goodbye.